Tonight on the record, Donald Trump is here, and he is threatening to boycott the next Republican presidential debate. Why? Well, right now, Donald Trump goes on the record from the Trump Tower. Nice to talk to you, Donald.
Hello, Greta.
I understand that you don't like the rules that CNBC has set for its next GOP debate. Are you seriously thinking that you would boycott it?
Well, the same thing is happening as happened with CNN. They sold the commercials so much and for so much money. It was going to be $4,000 for a 30-second commercial. It ended up being $200,000 and $250,000 for a 30-second commercial. And same thing's happening now with CNBC. And what they're trying to do, they've sold out all their commercials and they want to increase it by an hour. Now, if you look at the, debate, even though it was pretty boring from last night or the other night with Hillary and the group, that debate, it was a 2-hour deal. Now they want to make this an extra hour. And I think it's unfair to the viewers because it's too much to watch. And they're doing it because they want to make more money.
So does that mean if they're going to do 3 hours that you would say, I'm out of here after 2 hours?
Well, I spoke to Reince and I spoke to the RNC, and so have other people, actually. And, they don't like the idea because it's unfair. It's unfair to the viewers. I don't care. I could stand for 5 hours. I could stand for 10 hours. But it's unfair to the viewers. It's too long. The Democratic debate, if you look at it, that was 2 hours and it was too long. Everybody was bored at the end. They want to make this much longer than that. So I think it's really important that they make it a reasonable period of time.
All right. Well, I think you're still in if it's 3 hours, but you want 2 hours is what I get out of that. All right. Now, do you think you should have Secret Service protection?
Well, that's what we agreed to. By the way, Greta, that's what we agreed to. It was agreed to 2 hours. And now all of a sudden, yesterday, they came up with this additional long period of time, whatever it may be. But it was originally agreed that it was going to be a 2 hour. I mean, the networks, they're making a fortune off of this stuff. They never made money. They always lost money with it. Now they're making a fortune. I wonder why. But now they're making a fortune with it. So, a little bit tough.
We'll see what happens. All right. Should you have Secret Service protection now?
Well, we're getting the biggest crowds. Last night we had 8,000 people in Virginia. We had 20,000 people in Dallas, Texas. We had 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama, and 20,000 in Oklahoma. And I know this, if I was a Democrat, they'd have it. But it's really up to them. They know what they're doing. And I assume they're doing the right thing. I would hope they're doing the right thing.
Have you asked
Well, I think it would be appropriate because, we've been speaking with them about it. My people have been speaking to them about it. And we'll see what happens. But again, when you have 20,000 people, that's a lot of people. And even if you have some really fantastic guys doing it, and in this case, we have 10 people that are very strong people. When you have 20,000, it's pretty hard to protect, I would imagine.
All right. Let me ask you a question now about foreign policy. I know that you know about the Doctors Without Borders hospital was bombed in Afghanistan, and the Doctors Without Borders wants an international humanitarian fact-finding commission to investigate it. If you were president, would you want this to happen, this organization to investigate it?
Well, look, it was a horrible mistake, and we made it, and it was just a horrible thing that took place. I've been watching that. And I think that's maybe the least of the problems. How does a thing like this happen? This is constantly happening with our country. We don't have victories anymore. We bomb hospitals instead of bombing targets. We're like the gang that can't shoot straight. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like this. This is constantly happening with our country. So many bad things. They bombed a hospital where you had a lot of people, where you had patients being operated on, innocent patients being operated on. And it just never ends with our country now. We have to start winning. We have to start doing things properly.
What do you think about President Obama's announcement today that he's going to keep troops in Afghanistan longer?
Well, I agree with that announcement because, frankly, if you look at what happened with Iraq, we should have never been in Iraq in the first place. But when we took the troops out, that was the end of that. And now Iran is taking over Iraq as sure as you're sitting there. So I think that probably they have to do that. He's cutting it down to 5,000. Maybe you leave 10,000. Not that I recommend this at all, but I think you have no choice at this moment because you already see the insurgents. They're already going in there because they all think we're leaving. Probably you have to leave it. It's a shame to have to leave it. At what point do we leave? At what point do we get out? but you probably have to leave. Otherwise, the same thing's going to happen as happened in Iraq.
All right. Prime Minister Netanyahu is not happy with the United States at the suggestion that they are using excessive force in the latest round of problems in Israel. What do you think about the United States' suggestion that it's excessive force by Israel?
Well, Israel's being hit from all sides. And, you know, if you look at this new deal, this horrible, one of the worst contracts ever negotiated, the Iran nuclear deal. I mean, how can Israel be happy with the United States? And in the meantime, they're getting hit on in so many different ways. So I don't blame him for being unhappy with our president or the United States. So we're not taking care of them. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And, you know, excessive force. What's excessive force? They're being hit from all sides, and they're being hit very unfairly, and they have to do what they have to do.
Last night, we had a guest here on the record. His name is Eric Trump. And I asked him about growing up, the son of Donald Trump. And here's what Eric said. Listen to what Eric said.
I think my best memories were probably actually walking construction sites with him, right? We'd go over these big buildings he was building. We'd follow him around. And so I think he kind of taught us the art of the deal, you know, just by being with him. But, you know, I remember building Lego sets in his office while he was negotiating great casino deals and other things. And, you know, it was a lot of fun.
Well, it wasn't teaching him to ride a bicycle, but apparently it was teaching him real estate. What do you think about that?
And how to drive tractors. At a young age, he could drive tractors. Well, I have wonderful children. Eric has done such a great job. He helped us rebuild Doral along with Don and Ivanka, and did a fantastic job in Miami. And he's actually now in charge of the Great Turnberry in Scotland. I bought that a number of years ago, and we're renovating Turnberry in Scotland, one of the great resorts of the world, where they have the British Open Golf Championship. And he has been absolutely amazing. And I watched him last night, and I said, I don't want to go on tonight because I cannot compete with that performance that he did last night. He was great. He looked great, and he sounded great. He's very, very smart, and he's done a fantastic job.
Donald, thank you, and I hope that we're looking forward to introducing your wife to the On the Record audience, as well as I want Ivanka to come here and your son Don. So I hope you'll put a little pressure on them, will you?
Absolutely, Greta. I will.
All right. Thank you, Donald. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much.